Friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are. We're in Miami and I've just had a wonderful experience. A friend of mine introduced me to somebody who is so energetic, vibrant and positive, and the person we've invited on the podcast today is Mariet Zollner. Mariet, honestly, it was lovely meeting you.
No, very thankful.
And I've got to thank Assad for that because you just got such great energy and enthusiasm. It was really, honestly, lovely. Now, what I'd like to ask you, how did you get into this business and what have you been doing?
Ooh, it's a long story, Chris.
Don't worry.
I've been in the business already for more than 20 years. I started working in passenger first.
Okay, yeah.
But then quickly it changed into the cargo as they were quite in need of people to do the business. And so I ended up in the GSA industry, GSA work actually.
Yeah.
So and from a branch manager up to an MD of a great company in the Netherlands, I enjoyed working there for more than 23 years.
Brilliant,
yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
And what triggered you to want to move from the passenger side into cargo, but then into commercial? Because it's easy for me, first meeting, I would say, somebody said, what's Mariet do? I'd say, well, she's definitely in commercial.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was a coincidence. I mean, I was working for a GSA already back then, when I was early 20.
Yeah.
And they were in need with people of running their cargo business. And yeah, for me, the passenger was kind of slow and not energetic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was attracted to the business that they were running. So it's a coincidence for me that I came into the cargo industry. But it's something that it's got into me, and yeah, I stayed ever since.
Yeah, and we were just having a quick chat on the way here. We were talking about why is this industry such a great one? Why should youngsters or anybody looking to change, why should they see this as an attractive industry?
I think the industry is offering so many opportunities in a very wide scale. You know, you can be commercial, operational, customer service like. You can be all at once in one job that you're doing actually.
Yeah.
International, I think that's a key. I think even with young people that work globally, you know, on the internet and on the social media, the world is at their feet. So I think the industry is giving that and then getting paid for it. So how cool is that?
Exactly.
Second, I think the energy that we've got, I mean, it's a very masculine industry, but I think it's a very pragmatic, and it keeps you going, right?
Yeah,
it keeps you driving to achieve higher levels. So it's very motivating to develop your career. Yeah. So that's what I think. The other thing is that I think us as an industry leader, but also other people here in Miami, but also in Europe or wherever they are, should be much more vocal about how stylish our industry is, how energetic and how much it can bring for you. So yeah, there's also for us a job to do.
Yeah. But even here, I mean, this is one of the nicest things I've experienced for a long time, seeing all the people, meeting people.
Absolutely.
Everybo's got a nice energy about them, it's positive at the moment, you know?
Yeah, and what we heard that your colleague was telling us about, you know, Miami, I mean, it's a vibrant city, of course.
Yeah.
But that's automatically what you bring in. It's automatically what you bring in on this exhibition. So it's a very vibrant place to meet people, networking, but also to meet new people. So I think, it's great.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time down here, 27, 28 years ago.
Yeah. And it was the Air Cargo Americas before, right?
And I loved it here, and it's so great to be back. Now, there's another thing I want to say to you. So when we met, you gave me a card.
Yeah.
Right? And I've got the card here.
Cool one.
And I've already said to you, and I said to my colleague Salem, it is one of the nicest, genuine cards I've ever received in my life.
Thank you very much.
But seriously,
very nice compliment.
seriously. Yeah. Now people will be thinking they can't see it or read it, but just tell me why you designed this card in the way you did.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a very long story actually. You know, when you're away from home and you need to sell yourself in another country with international people, it's of course you can show your face and shake hands and smile and talk, but you won't stick.
Yeah.
Could be, you can't stick in the mind because of a nice conversation. So I thought I need to give something to people to remember me as well when they're back home and sitting behind their desk and say, okay, what nice people did I met? So I designed a business card with me in front of it with my name and a nice short line of who I am and what I'm looking for actually, and a nice introduction on the back side. So it's something. I mean, it's my selling point at this time. It's me.
Yeah.
So I need to spread that around, and that this is the best way to do it.
No, but it really, honestly, I'm not saying it lightly.
Yeah.
And I nearly said something wrong, which I'll explain to you off camera. I won't say it now because
Yeah.
I nearly said something straight back to you, which I can't. But honestly, it's absolutely fantastic, and I think there's no way people would forget it.
I hope.
Yeah.
That's my aim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what is it that you actually want to start doing now? Because I know you've had a little break.
Of course, that question will be raised numbers of times the coming days, and I've thought a lot about how would I respond to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to limit myself, by saying, okay, I want to be commercial, I want to be operational, or work with an airline or in the GSA. I think I'm open for new insights of what the industry can bring me.
Yeah.
I'm a very commercial person, so I love doing that. I'm very good at networking and staying in contact with each and everybody, international. But for me, there's not a clear direction on what I really want. I do know what I don't want, and those details will be shared with the ones that is interested with me.
Okay, right, yeah.
So I'm open. I'm open for looking ground handling. I'm open for looking to speak with the airlines, but also, that was the question that was asked just recently. Consulting, that's something that I don't really like because then I can do it on my own and not for somebody else. It's open, Chris. I have no clear line. And like I said, I want to use Miami as a kickstart for me as well, to be inspired and motivated.
Yeah.
And sitting behind my desk in my hometown won't help me. So this is the way that I'm looking forward to a nice new role in the industry.
You've got to go out and you've got to make doors open. And,
that's what I do.
What will be yours will not pass you by.
Exactly. And like I said, I don't want to limit myself by saying this is what I want or this. No, I keep everything open.
And what would you say? What would you say are the core skills that you've learnt over the 20 odd years, and especially from commercial, that you could then adapt elsewhere? Because I did some commercial myself as well, but I ended up more operational. But I always used to joke with people, and I used to say, commercial sell rainbows, not reality.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, operations like to put an anchor down instead of raise a sail.
Yeah.
And I think now the industry, people have got to have a better understanding of each side of the fence.
Yeah, exactly.
So that it's not rainbows, but you have to push the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah.
And then on operations, you have to be compliant and everything else, but you mustn't overkill.
Yeah. I can be exactly that bridge. Because I see operational teams. There's a mindset, an operational team is not a commercial team, so they have their focus on their tasks and duties and the way how to perform it. But building bridges between those teams, I love to do that. Yeah. And then that's something that.
And during your time as GSA, did you get heavily involved in the Extra S or the TCM side of the business?
In the last couple of years, yes, we did. That is kind of the transformation of a GSA, right? And the added value of a GSA for an airline.
Exactly, yeah.
So I was loving to see that, because a traditional GSA, by just selling the capacity, that was a nice job to do, but it became very, comfortable, not so much exciting. So, and also airlines are demanding much more services of you. Not only as a GSA, but in any ground handling, trucking, more services are needed. So I think the TCM and all that kind of stuff, then you are really involved in the whole process, and not only the commercial or not only the operation. And things have to be connected together, right? So you need to have an understanding of those processes and how it works. So I'm all round. It's the way I learned it, right? And that's the quality I can bring.
Yeah. And what about, like in a previous life and two previous lives, I used to give the GSAs a lot of stick when they introduced the Extra S. And the reason being is because I didn't think it was mature enough then. And what it did was it encouraged the handling agents to not make decisions, because they'd say, well, why we make decisions when the GSA is going to tell us what to do? So they were sort of dumbing down a little bit, and then there was too much influence. And I used to try and kick that. But now with online bookings and the way the business has changed, and to actually represent an airline across the whole spectrum, I think now's the time to do things very, very differently.
Yeah.
And that combination between somebody who has an oversight, making sure that everybody's doing what they're contracted to do, SLAs, KPIs, etc., but also somebody who's able to show the different opinion, that bridge between the rainbows and the anchor.
Yeah, correct.
And I think that's a nice role now.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And it's also still a people's business to do so, right?
Yeah.
Which I really love, because I embrace the digitalization, new technologies, but it's also very important, you know, to think in human act, human mindset, and then put it into a digitalization. So yeah, that's something that I was really working on in the last couple of years.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the more focus on people, practices and performance, as opposed to process, premises and profit.
Yeah.
Obviously profit is so important anyhow, but to get there, if you push the people and the practices and performance, you will get there in a much more sustainable manner.
Correct.
And no, good.
And long lasting.
Yeah, and are you looking at any particular region, or you know, where would you
well,
like to?
My home base is Holland. That's where I live. So I'm not planning to move anywhere else. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But you know, these days it's flexible, right? You can work from home and you can work
Hybrid,
anywhere. Yeah. So it's no, not. I don't even limit myself to say that's the region where I work with. But.
And I think it's good that you're open to anything, because having that openness and just like
it's
door
like a big
opens.
pool. You should jump in the big pool.
Yeah, never say no.
And you will see who is around watching you swimming, and then you will end up.
Yeah, I've always.
we'll end up.
Like my family have always said to me, "Oh, why are you doing it?" But I just think never say no.
No.
And then when the door opens, have a good look round, because there's going to be something there that's going to interest you.
Yeah.
If anything, I try and open too many doors, but
that's also the thing, you know. And when you're in GSA business for so long, that's automatically that people want you to be reconnected to with again.
Yeah.
But that's something that I thought over good. Like, okay, shall I do the same that I was doing for this big BCS group, or shall I do differently? So that's still something that I'm discovering.
Yeah, but it's exciting to do something different with the experience and knowledge that you've had in that area.
You want to learn also, right? You want to learn and bring your knowledge to that company and absorb new ones.
Exactly.
That's what I like. Yeah.
Well, listen, if there's any good luck, justice, or whatever you want to call it, okay, you're definitely going to get something very exciting.
I truly hope so.
And I think it'll be a wonderful thing. So fair play to you.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Very
I will
nice.
keep this.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm going to show this to my daughter especially.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, I'm going to show that to my daughter, and I'm not leaving my son out.
No.
But I'm going to show it to my daughter for a particular reason. Yeah. But well done you. Absolutely
Thank you
brilliant.
very much for this opportunity, Chris.
No, it's a pleasure. And
Loved
good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.